And we're live. So this is going to be part 2 of what we started yesterday. Unfortunately, we had to cut it short. So we were asking each other some questions. We had some interesting answers. It was quite fun. We still have like 4 questions each to go. And then I had a few things that I wanted to talk about. Just to get back to the dog thing. Have you seen pictures of when you see how the breeds were like 100 years ago
Oh
and
yeah,
what they look
definitely,
now?
definitely. Yeah.
I really like seeing those, and you can see how much they've changed. And
Yeah,
most of the breeds looked way better 100 years ago.
yeah, I agree. I would say that the breeds today they were made to be more cute and cuddly. I think
I don't think they
that's
look
what
cute.
sells.
Like Chihuahuas and stuff like they don't look cute at all.
Well, to me, they look like little rats.
But that's the thing. I used to have pet rats, and pet
Seriously,
rats are actually cute. Yeah, they're very nice pets. They're super intelligent, and I hated to have them compared to chihuahuas.
who the fuck compares rats with chihuahuas?
You just did.
Well, yeah, but
You literally just did.
not like in a serious sense. I mean, I
Yeah,
like
but I
both.
know, like they look like very nervous rodents.
They are very anxious. That's true, but they're very loving. My cousin had a chihuahua. She was always on me. It was very cute and
Okay.
lovely.
Never
But
hung out with any.
mm. and actually, the second dog, the last dog that still has actually, literally looks like a very fat uh, rat. Like literally looks like a rat with like a gray fur and everything.
Yeah, I
Small
grew
fur.
up with very big dogs, so I'm more used to that. And yeah, I grew up with a lot of dogs. I'm a dog person, not a cat person. I don't hate cats. I don't have anything against them, but I just don't have anything for them. But yeah, I grew up with big dogs, and I just enjoy the company of big dogs. Creatures you could take with you on a hunt, for instance.
Oh, nice. Well, actually, yeah, I had as well. I used to have big dogs since I was a kid. My first one was called Nero. He was a combination of German Shepherd and a Carpathian some. I don't know. He was huge. We would used to use him for like a warehouse
Guard, yeah.
guard. Yeah.
Um, the first dog I remember, but I was very, very young at the time, was Saint Bernard.
Oh, Samba now.
Yeah, Saint Bernard,
Those are lovely.
called Jacob. And so that poor thing was in Africa, and
Oh,
he was dying. He was very aggressive with everyone, very protective, a bit too protective, and very aggressive with anyone from the outside.
but I've noticed that with Saint Bernards. Most of them, from what I've heard, I've met a few of them as well, and most are very overprotective with their family, but also very violent with any perceived intruder.
Uh, I don't remember. I've just been told, and from the behavior I've been told from that dog, yeah, it was a bit of a problem for, not for us, obviously, but for people from outside. Then
But
we
the
had
dogs on inside.
a Dalmatian called Nikita,
Oh, okay.
and we had a German Shepherd, a black German Shepherd called Belga, who's the one who bit me when I was 3 years old. It bit me on the face. That's why I have scars on my face from back then.
I never noticed them.
They're you can barely see them anymore. But yeah, when I was a kid, like I almost lost an eye to that. And after that, I picked the next dog. It was also a German Shepherd, but with like a regular color,
Hmm.
called Italia, and she was my baby. I think it was the first time I ever cried. So I left Africa when I was about 12. And when I was like 15 or 16, I was told that she had died. So she stayed in Africa because the rest of my family was still there. I just went to join my father. And yeah, I think that was the first time I was crying for
For a pet.
not for pet, for how I don't know how to put it, like an entity that was a live thing that I had lost. It was
I
like
think
one of the first experiences
when you have a pet and
losing.
when you lose it, it's the first time that you actually feel like real loss, um, from a human perspective, or when you lose like a loved one, for example, like a grandfather or something like that. I remember my first such encounter was when I was 5 years old. We used to have a nanny, and she spoke German. So up until like 7, 8 years old, I actually spoke German with her, and I loved her as a grandmother. And her husband also obviously was like a grandfather to me. And he died, and he was he liked the alcohol a bit too much, and yeah, he died when I was 5, and that was the first time I ever encountered actual death and see that okay, that person is there but not really. And it's weird how the natural instincts just showed up out of the blue, and I instantly understood that something inside that entity is no longer there. It's just
Hmm.
the exterior, something like that. It may be very sad, but I can vividly remember the funeral even now.
And yeah, so for me it was not a human being; it was a dog, and
Well, you can't
yeah,
really
yeah, you cannot
tell the
really
difference.
decide what's going to impact you. But yeah, I've always loved dogs, and I hope to one day have a house with a lot of them.
Oh,
And
yeah, me too.
but yeah, growing up, I had like 12 dogs. So we had like
Right?
Doberman, German Shepherd, Belgian Shepherd as well, and a lot of bastards as well. And yeah, it, we were in Africa. Like we had a big house with a lot of space. So yeah.
Would you ever take a dog to live with in an apartment?
No, 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 I wouldn't do that. It wouldn't be fair to the animal, and
Definitely no.
I guess I could come to terms with having like a Shiba because they seem to accommodate quite well with the apartment life. But anything
Shiba.
bigger than that, I wouldn't want to have it stuck in an apartment.
That's a breed.
The Shiba, yeah, the Japanese breed.
Okay, let me check
I'm
that out.
pretty sure
I've
you
heard of
Shiba, Shiba,
yeah, the doggo,
Doge, the Doge,
the
yeah.
doge. Yeah, I didn't know the bred for apartment living.
No, they're bred for hunting. They're very good guard dogs. They have a temper. They're closer to cats actually in their temper. But Shibas and Akita, which is like a bigger version of
Yeah, I
Shibas,
know the Akita.
they're bred for hunting in Japan. Like Shiba is more for guarding, and Akita is for hunting, like hunting bears and stuff like that. So yeah, they don't take shit from anyone.
I kind of dog. Nice. I
Yeah.
like those Mongolian ones, the huge ones. I don't remember what they're called.
Are you sure it's a Mongolian one? I
I'm
think.
guessing.
Are you thinking of the Tibetan Mastiff?
Yeah, yes.
The literal bears. Yeah, it's the Tibetan
Yeah, they look like a
Mastiffs.
bit.
Yeah. I like Mastiffs in general. Like they're huge, but they have a lot of health problems.
Hmm,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Like I think it's called the Chow Chow, the Chinese breed that also gets like very big. They have a lot of like knee problems and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, and the Chow Chows, I actually found out they're very. Is it the Chow Chow? No, the Chow Chow is the one with the
Purple tongue.
purple tongue. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very cute. The one with there's another one. It looks like a rug. You know, the fur is very
Oh yeah.
weird.
It's they have dreads, like the ones with dreads, right?
Yeah, yeah, very,
Yeah.
very cute.
Wait, what region are they from? I think from somewhere in the south of Europe, east or south of Europe, something like that. Or wait, is it like a Pyrenean? I'm just going to double check. It might be a no. The Pyrenean is it's also a huge dog, but it's not the one with the dreads.
Mm.
The you know what? Let's just check dog with dreads. Uh, Okay, can you just give me the name? The big ones are the Commodore.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I saw recently a video of one entering, like just jumping in water, and you have all the dreads floating up to the to the top. It was quite cute.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah.
I would definitely want to get a dog as well, but only when I move into a house. Otherwise,
Hmm.
because I've had a lot of experience with ex-girlfriends and everything who had like dogs or cats, and just basically you take on the responsibility as well. Being the partner. So it's I don't really want that, not yet. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's on the list.
And yeah, it would depend. Like if you have a lot of travels planned and stuff like that, you have to make sure that you can take the dog with you. You don't want to let it behind. I mean, not travels, but like moving to other places. And if you go on vacation, obviously you can leave it with someone. But if you're moving to a new place, you have to check regulations. And the Commodore are Hungarian dogs. Yeah, so yeah, Hungarian. And I had a question regarding one of the things you said yesterday, just for clarification.
Sure.
Um, when we were talking about like cheating on someone, no, about the first time, you said that you were playing a lot with the girl's head, and uh, you meant that you were playing mind games, right? That's what you meant, not physically playing with her head.
Well, in some sexual techniques you
Okay,
can
yeah.
do that,
So
but no,
it's
no,
okay.
no,
So
no.
you
I
were
was just
playing mind games,
yeah,
yeah,
playing mind games, yeah, being
yeah,
like manipulative, let's say, but just
yeah.
trying it out. Nothing. I didn't know I was doing any harm, but then again, I was just 16, so I didn't care. Fuck the world, and
I was checking the audio yesterday. I was like, "The fuck did you just say?" Because I remember not catching it right away when you were talking about it, and then when I was listening to it again, I was like, "Wait, what did he
mm,
mean by that? It can't be physically because that doesn't make any sense. It has to be mind games." But I just wanted to clear that.
mm, fair
Okay,
enough.
so let's get going
What the
with the
questions? Yeah.
questions.
Mhm.
Do you want to go first?
Um. Oh yeah, yeah. I do have an interesting one. So, how would you have rather be named, and do you think that your name fits you?
So when I was younger, I had some qualms with my name, um, but just because my father and my grandfather are called the same,
Oh, well,
and yeah, it became an unspoken tradition, like naming the firstborn like this. But that's just because when you're a kid, you just want to dissociate yourself and stuff like that. But
yeah, be independent and all that.
yeah, but no, I actually really like my name. It's a very strong name.
Viking name.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Viking name with a lot of weight. And
Mm.
no, I quite enjoy my name, and I don't have any name I would rather have than the one that I have at the moment.
It's interesting because since your father is also named Eric, you could kind of be Eric Erickson, basically.
That's what I use on Facebook. That's why I have that on Facebook.
Oh. I don't know. I stopped using Facebook like a year and a half ago.
Oh, but I've had it for a while now. But yeah, it's the way I use that name and not my actual last name.
Mm. Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Are you more sweet or savory?
Sweet or savory? Huh. In terms of food, you mean, right?
Yes, in terms of food. Not
No,
in.
I don't. I
Okay,
don't like
yeah.
sweets. Like the only time I ever like sweets is if I'm hungry, and then I have cravings for absolutely anything.
Hmm.
Or if I smoke some reefer, because I have a problem with the munchies. As in, my nickname is the vacuum because I can literally eat anything. I'm that hungry. I ate ketchup on my hand because there was nothing else. And I was just starving, so
Oh my god,
it
sounds
was
awful.
amazing.
Why didn't you just like drink water or something?
Yeah, but it needs to have flavor.
Yeah, you could have boiled some tea or something.
That took too long. I needed something right there and then and there.
But ketchup?
Yeah, Yeah. Well,
Okay.
again, I was smoking some reefer and I got the munchies and there was nothing else in the fridge and you do what you got to do.
Okay. Fair. Yeah, I'm
It
more of
was the best ketchup I ever had.
I do like certain sweet things, but I also prefer savory in general.
Mm,
Like I will rarely crave sweet things, but there are some things that I will have a hard time resisting. Like there are a few ice cream parlors, for instance, here in Paris that I really like. So almost any time I would walk by, I will take the pistachio ice cream there because it's the best.
ooh, I
It's
love that.
called Grum. The texture of their ice cream is just amazing. But yeah, I have a few things I like in sweets, but most of the time I prefer savory. The problem is that it's quite easy to have sweet things at hand when you're feeling a bit peckish, like cookies and stuff like that.
True.
It's not that I like them or want them. It's just that it's a cheap, easy option, and
Yeah,
you need
but
to
like,
get your sugar fix.
for example, if you were to be hungry, for example, right, and you would be satiated, you would eat, would you still eat something sweet afterwards, even if you would be full?
Ice cream. Ice cream is the only thing I can tolerate after being full from eating.
Weirdly enough, I could never understand ice cream. Just never got it. And my parents actually own a ice cream machine, and I could always eat free ice cream, but I never did. I think I ate like five ice creams ever.
Really?
Yeah, I just
Not even during summer?
nope,
Okay.
it just doesn't do it for me.
Hmm. I don't recall having eaten any good ice cream in Romania. I mean, there are a few store-bought, like there's a Swiss brand that you could find in Romania, so that's the one I was taking most of the time. Lidl has a few good ones as well.
I don't think we have
Uh,
a tradition in ice cream, to be honest.
yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
it's just weird. You wouldn't be able to find a particular brand that makes like really good ice cream. However, I remember when I was a kid living here in Reshita, we would have back in the early 90s, obviously, there would be vendors, on the boulevard selling ice cream, and it was, of course, it was substandard in terms of quality and everything. But they once yeah, you had like vanilla and chocolate flavor,
Mhm.
and then they would dip it in this like hot chocolate thing,
Yeah.
and so you would have a crust which would be a bit warm on the outside, and once you took a bite out of it, it would be cold on the inside. It was just amazing, and
Okay.
I've never
So
seen that.
it would be like a Magnum, but with the warm exterior.
Yeah, like Magnum, yeah,
Hmm.
and it would be made on the spot.
Yeah,
That's what was
that could be
cool. Was
interesting.
cool
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, I love that, but I haven't seen it since.
Okay. Something sweet I do miss from Romania is kurtosh.
Which one?
Kurtosh.
Oh, Kurtos Kolac, which is
Yeah,
actually Hungarian.
I know it's Hungarian, but I discovered it and mainly ate it in
Yeah,
Romania.
well, in Transylvania you can find it anyway.
Yeah, the first time I had it was in Poiana Brasov.
Yeah, again, it's sweet, so not really my thing. I never
Yeah,
really cared for it.
it is quite nice with some glue wine.
What kind of wine?
Glue wine, hot wine.
Oh, okay. Glue wine, you said? I remember it's called mulled wine.
Yeah,
No?
it's mulled wine, but glue wine is another term. But yeah, it's hot wine.
No, okay.
It was quite nice together.
That is nice actually during the holidays, especially like in
Yeah.
Bucharest, for example, when you go at the fairs and everything, you have like mulled wine. And I actually drank hot cider this Christmas.
Oh, I never had it. For some reason, the idea of hot cider really bothers me.
I loved it. It was hot apple cider. It was amazing.
Yeah, I should try it then. Because cider most of the time has uh um it's bubbly. It's not flat.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I think the idea of having it hot doesn't jive with me that well.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If it's hot, it's not that bubbly as it is
I
supposed.
certainly hope it's not bubbly anymore because that would be so weird. But yeah, I should try it. I'm pretty sure I can find it here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hmm. And Oh, I remember. We had just moved in with the girls, um, and we tried making glue wine. Well, we actually did make glue wine, but that's when we discovered that we had a fucked up fire alarm. It would ring for nothing, and it didn't like, for instance, glue wine, hot wine.
I know, but that's normal. That happens in my apartment as well, and they actually told me about it before. Because obviously,
Yeah.
Romania, we make either mulled wine, but also mulled Tsuika. I remember that.
Oof. I think I've had it, and that's brutal.
Yeah, yes, it is.
That's quite brutal.
But it will cure any cold that you have, so yeah, it will cleanse you from the inside.
Well, either it will cleanse you or kill you. So either way, you're good. Like you're going to get rid of whatever is.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah, and they told me before, like, make sure not to make any mulled alcohol here because the alarm will pop off immediately. So I just unplugged it.
I think it would detect some chemicals because when we were cleaning the house as well, um, like the I'm forgetting my words tonight. Bleach, for instance, would trigger it, or certain cleaning products would trigger the fire alarm. It was
Very
so
strong
annoying.
scents, basically.
Yeah, it's super annoying. It was super annoying.
Yeah, that's why I unplugged it. Just couldn't bother.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm on the 10th floor, so hey, if it burns the entire building, will as well.
Yeah, we could not do that for some reasons that I cannot say here, but yeah, we
Mm.
had reasons to keep it on.
Yeah, I understand. Fair enough.
Okay. How do you feel about religion in general?
Oh wow, that's a big one. Um,
Again, pretty sure that's going to be a podcast in and of itself,
yeah,
religion, but
yeah.
I just want to have like a quick.
So short story, I was very religious when I was a kid, up until about 14. I was very passionate about history since I was a child, and actually that's due to having very good history teachers.
Mhm.
I had very good history teachers in grade school, then middle school, and in college as well, but also in high school. So that passion never faded for me. And I used to go when I was like what 10, 12 years old. I would go to the uh, county library and get like history books when everyone else was playing outside and that sort of thing. So I was really passionate about it. And the more I read about it, and I ended up reading about the Crusades and then about the Protest.
Deus vult.
What was I saying?
I was just saying Deus vult.
Those would, yeah, yeah. And the more I read about it, the more it kind of contradicted with everything I knew about religion, which talks about peace and love thy neighbor and turn the other cheek and all that. So it was a very contradicting time for me because obviously I was getting into my teens as well, so I had all these hormones acting up, and I just said fuck it and stopped believing entirely. And then around, I would say probably a year ago, I started reading more and more the works of Jordan Peterson. Remember, we
Hmm.
talked about him before.
Yeah.
And the way he spoke about religion made me kind of view it differently. So, and this is something that I noticed as well with people um, as they age. I noticed that they became more and more religious, and I can really understand why. But I started kind of looking up his works and the things that he talked about and how he talked about religion because I think that was the most important thing. So I would say today, personally, I'm a which is a very weird term if you need to categorize it, would be a cultural Christian atheist.
Okay.
And what that means is, again, it's just a made up term. It doesn't really mean it's not a particular category, but I would say it's something along the lines of personally, I don't know what's going to happen, because this is the most important question in religion, right? What happens after you die? This is the most important question for all of humanity in terms of spirituality, let's say. What does it all mean? What happens after you die? That sort of thing. So my most honest answer that I can give is I don't know what will be afterwards. I can't say that yes, according to science there is nothing, or yes, according to religion there is heaven and hell, and you'll end up in one of them. I simply don't know because nobody came back and told us. So that's my firm stance. However, I did come to understand the vitality of the vital importance of having religion, specifically the Judeo-Christian religions, because from my, as I said, from my readings of history and everything, I noticed that this was, I would say, the most important engine for progress and for the world we live in today, and for the rise of civilization in general, and especially European civilization, which ultimately kind of spread all across the world, which is by no means a way to kind of diminish the atrocities that happened in the name of religion, or that other religions or bad. I'm just saying that from a simple progression standpoint, I think religion is extremely important in day-to-day life, because it gives a person meaning, it gives purpose, and it gives a moral compass. And from what I've noticed today, especially in the West, is a lack of moral values, or change of moral values, saying that we don't need church to enforce their moral values on us. We can find our own. And I can kind of see that this quest of finding your own values in the West, this is just from my perspective, has led them astray, and has led them to develop these different types of ideologies, which are just very, how should I put it, not very fulfilling for the human being, let's say. So that's my
Um,
stance on it.
yeah, I see where you're coming from. So you attach yourself more on the cultural thing, like the cultural, uh, how to say that? What religion can bring culturally, as in consolidating a people, like people as a federating tool. Like people come together
Yeah,
believing in the same thing, and it creates a community. And
exactly.
yeah, I can understand that aspect, the community aspect of it.
But
I
also from a personal aspect, I would say as well. From a personal aspect, as an individual, it helps you become truly wholesome, let's say.
But that is if you need that, because I am, for the moment, I would describe myself as agnostic, as in
Mhm.
I don't know, and I don't think it's knowable if there is something after.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have any strong belief either way, but I take issues with Abrahamic religions
Okay.
in general, um, not on like uh, on an individual level, but because of all the abuses I have seen in the past and I still see being committed
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Um, and not that other religions don't have that; some of them also do terrible things, but it feels like it's less prevalent in other religions than it is in Abrahamic religions. And as I said, so I feel more agnostic. I wouldn't say that it's knowable whether or not there is something else. Um, but to me, I try to live my life, and I try to be a good person as much as possible. Although I know where, so I don't have religion to guide me, but I don't need that. Like when I fuck up, I know that I fucked up. Like I can tell that, hey, this was wrong, or okay, this might not be wrong, but it's not cool, and stuff like that. I don't need religion to tell me that. Just to give a bit more context, I grew up Protestant, and I went to Bible studies and everything. So I did get a level of religious education. It was quite nice in the sense that the pastor was not trying to have
Molest.
us believe in God. Well, I'm Protestant, not Catholic, so that was
Oh, they
not an
don't do
issue.
that in Protestant religions.
No,
Okay.
because we don't have confession as Protestants. You have to live with your sins.
Oh snap! I didn't know that.
So,
That sucks.
and
There's no
at
forgiveness.
least in Calvinist and Lutheran, that's how it is. I don't know how it is in the U.S., for instance, because they have they derive it from the English Protestants, which I don't know anything about. So the pastor was teaching us the lessons that you can get from the Bible,
Oh,
as in life lessons that you can actually apply. And when you're a teenager, it speaks way more to you than just, hey, God say don't do that, so you don't do it. Like he was more into um, making you understand both sides of arguments, for instance, and making sure that when you left, he didn't want you to come to the temple every Sunday or whatever. He didn't care about that. He just wanted to make sure that the kids he was working with would go on and become decent human beings.
wow, that is
And
actually
and
very
and I
impressive.
really and I really like that approach actually.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe
And
that's a great way.
but me not being religious or not necessarily needing as I said, religion to tell me what's good and what's not, doesn't mean that I'm not interested in religions. I read a lot. I look up a lot of things regarding religion, especially the ones we're not necessarily exposed to, like Sikhism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and stuff like that, and how they work, um, which is so different actually to how it works in the West. It's sometimes hard to give parallels and stuff, but it's very refreshing to see other perspectives on life.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I don't need it in my life, but I'm still interested because of some cultural aspects of them, and communities, how it built and how it helps societies everywhere actually to come together and start building civilization. It
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
one of the cornerstones of how civilizations are built, whether or not you like it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's my point as
It's
well.
yeah. You can shit on it all you want. It's still a fact that that's what helped build civilization. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. I would also say that, and this is just my perspective, it may not be the truth from your side, but I feel that a lot of people who were brought up in the West or in Europe in general, because they were brought up in a geographically cultural Christian environment, that allowed them to, at one point, simply disengage from the actual religion while claiming that it was their own decision. Whereas, from my point of view, I believe that the teachings of Christ in general and the Bible and all that kind of gives you this free will mentality where you can actually just leave it all together and nobody, chastises you for it. But if you were to do so in other religions, that may not be possible or would be extremely frowned upon. So I would say that us, for example, being atheist or agnostic is kind of a byproduct of being brought up in a Christian geographical cultural landscape.
But I don't think that's a fair assessment. I understand why the argument can be made because you tend to have more atheists and agnostics in Christian countries or Christian parts of the world. But that's, I think, just a side effect, because if you see people who come from religious families, Christians, they will shun you if you are not into religion. They will still give you the same treatment as that you would pass on for being from other religions. It's just that it's less prevalent now, but that doesn't mean that those other religions wouldn't allow you to do that either. It just depends on the degree of religiousness, let's say, of your family and acquaintances.
True, true. But I've never heard, of Christian families of whoever. I actually have an example. I have a friend of mine who, um, basically, her parents are like her father is a priest. And in Orthodoxy, it's very, if you're the daughter of or a son of a priest, it's very like a big deal. So obviously, you have to behave in a certain way. And I met a lot of people like that who just rebelled against their parents in this way, and no one really had that big of a problem with them. Obviously, they had big fights in families and everything, but that happens a lot. So yeah, I would say, as you said, as you put it, it depends on how strict, let's say, that particular religion is.
Yeah, but for instance, so on my father's side, they're Protestants, and on my mother's side, my grandmother was Catholic, and my grandfather was Muslim. My mom, when I was growing up, she was a Muslim. Then she converted to Christianity later on for another guy she married. And now she's a Muslim again, and she didn't lose any connection with her family or anything because she left Islam. It was not a problem at all.
Well, that is nice, but I've heard a lot of
But
other
obviously,
stories.
you would hear more stories of like, let's say, Islam, for instance, taking way more issues with people trying to leave
Yeah,
the religion.
generally speaking, yeah. But
Yeah,
of course, it depends on the country as well, because obviously some countries are more religious than others.
yeah.
For example, even in Romania, I would say, statistically speaking, there are around 80% Orthodox. And just so people know, Orthodoxy in Eastern Europe is kind of like how Catholicism was in the 15th century when Martin Luther first came. It became so corrupt and kind of like their own mafia, really, where you hear all these stories and you even know people who, in order to become a priest, they would have to pay like a fee, 80,000 euros, and some enormous sums just to become a priest. And of course, when you would go to a church, you would have to pay for everything. So you have to, if you want to, baptize a child, you have to pay a fee. If you have to buy candles only from them, or if you want to get married, obviously buy candles from them, buy everything from them, and pay a certain fee. And obviously, it's not really mentioned in the tax reform and the tax form. So yeah, there's a lot of that happening, and it drove a lot of the young people away. So I would say most of the young people today are agnostic and not really actual religious.
I haven't met. So yeah, religion is very prevalent in Romania.
Mm.
That was one of the first cultural shocks, like the sheer amount of churches at every street corner.
We do like them churches, yes.
Yeah. As an example, imagine being in New York and replace every Starbucks with a church. You will have roughly the same amount of churches in Bucharest. To give you a comparison, I
And
think that's a
Bucharest
good
is
comparison.
nothing. If you go in Moldova, for example, oh my God,
Yeah.
even worse.
And but yeah, surprisingly, young people. There were actually a few young people that are quite religious, or again, they were more religious by tradition than by true belief in
Yeah,
God.
it's more about respecting tradition.
Exactly. So they would observe the tradition of the church, like with marriage and everything, but they wouldn't go to church and pray or do stuff like that. That's more of the older generations that would do that.
Yeah, yeah,
I think we should stop the topic now because this is otherwise we're not going to be done. There's so much more to say about it.
definitely,
So,
definitely.
what's your eighth question?
Mm. Ooh, it's a funny one. Do you remember and describe how was the first time that you got hit in the nuts?
Um, that's a good question. I would think it was when I was a kid playing football. It has to be that. and it was either a kick or a ball, but either way, it yeah, you understand, like all of a sudden you become aware of what life is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it brings everything to, like, whatever you might have imagined life could be before, there is a before and after being hit in the nuts. And yeah, it must have been while I was playing football while I was a kid. Do you remember yours?
I vividly remember mine. Yes, it was. I think I was in like early school, maybe fourth grade or fifth grade, and I was very precocious as a child, so I was constantly, hitting on girls and going on dates and all that. I don't know why, I just liked their presence. So what we would do, obviously, is we would I would make I made up I loved making up games when I was a kid. So I made up this game where we all the boys from the class we would run around the school, and who was first had the privilege of hitting the girl that he liked, so that obviously the girl knows that you like her. Otherwise, how we go, how
How would
else?
she know? Yeah, the
Exactly, yeah.
bunch of women, then she'll know.
So we did
Jesus.
that, and then like in the sixth grade, I think, yeah, we learned that the girls that age started developing breasts and nice buttocks and everything, and something deep inside us told us, hey, that's something that you should be interested in. So we would just slap girls' asses in the school, and apparently they didn't take well to that. So I slapped this girl's ass, this beautiful ass. It was just she was in like white pants, I remember vividly, and the sound of it was rolling down the hallways, and it was just beautiful slap. But obviously, she just turned around and just kneecapped me right in the nuts.
These nuts.
Oh my God. And I just remember the time slowed down, and I was just falling on the ground, and it took a long time to fall from my perspective. And just a burst of pain started hitting my stomach, and my head got dizzy, and like this huge pain, everything kind of blacked out in front of me. It was awful. That's why, as men today, whenever we see a film or whatever, someone
Yeah,
get
you
hit in the
can
nuts,
physically feel
you can, yeah,
that
yeah,
happening. That's something you can feel physically through the screen.
you
But
have to
I'm
be the
glad you got
exact
kicked
opposite.
in the nuts for that because you're being an ass.
Yeah, but in my defense, I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah, obviously you were a kid, so.
But I learned that day. I learned.
Well, if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, yeah. But it always pains me that whenever I talk to women or with girlfriends that I had, and sometimes they would play games and oh, let me just tell you, and then that's a bitch, I'm gonna slap the shit out. Don't care. Like, don't be such a pussy. What's the harm? It's just just a small flick. And I'm like, are you insane? Do you know how that hurts? Oh no, you're just a pussy. You're too weak. And I've tried to explain to them every time that look, even if you just flick it a bit, like he's gonna drop down in pain. Like you don't understand. It's just how it works.
Well, that depends. You shouldn't king shame people.
True. Yeah. I've seen some
I'm
some
not talking
interesting
about
videos.
myself, or I wouldn't. No. Anyways, it's I'm just saying you should not king shame people.
Hey, you do you. Each their own.
Yeah, you're a little bitch, and that's you. Don't king shame people because you cannot take the heat.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay. My next question is: when in time would you like to visit, and why?
When in time? Well, first off, it's a very hypothetical question in the sense that even from a hypothetical point of view, from what I know, time travel is impossible. Sorry, time travel in the past is impossible. So we're talking about a dimension here of like a
Can you just answer the question?
fair enough, fair enough. So when would I? Well, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's really tough. Um, I don't think I would like to. I would like to travel. Oh, maybe like a few days ago. No, a few like 2 weeks ago. before I caught this cold. Yeah, and not take care of my friend's dog, which gave me the cold in the end.
Okay.
The reason for that is this. So I've given a lot of thought to this. This is not just a random answer. So if I were to travel to the future, obviously all my loved ones, my friends, they wouldn't be there anymore. Obviously, because I wouldn't go just, hey, let's see what 1 year from now happens. No, I would go. I don't know, 100 years, 1,000 years. Let's see if this global warming stuff is for real and stuff like that. So yeah, I would just be extremely alone in a place where I've no idea
Yeah,
what's happening.
let me rephrase the question. You wouldn't be staying there. It's just to visit to see maybe an event or something like that, or observe something.
Oh, okay, okay, that would be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be more
It's a
interesting.
two-way ticket, and you don't have to stay, and you cannot be killed, and you cannot fall ill or whatever.
Oh,
It's
that would
just
be
to
good.
visit and see things.
Yeah, 10,000 years from now,
10,000 years from now?
in the future. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just curious how humanity will look like if it's still here, if the chickens turned into dinosaurs again. Yeah,
Oh, that would be so cool.
that would be really cool. I would love to have a pet dinosaur.
Yeah, I would go back in time. I would go to the megalith period
Ooh,
in Brittany before the Celts arrive, just to see the people who put
made
all those
content
stones everywhere, were like Stone Age and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I would like to see those people and how they were living and stuff. It's quite fascinating to me.
you would need to bring a lot of popcorn because they built that shit in like a long time. It would be tedious. Yeah, but I wouldn't go back in time just because we kind of know what happened.
But
So
that's the thing, we don't. I want to see moments that we don't know about, like before. Um, like we barely know enough about the Celts because of the Romans and other talking about them, but we don't know anything about what was there before. And I mean, we don't. We know a few things, but we don't know their day to day. And I don't know. It was history being made, and it's a part of history that I'm very invested in. This area of the world and those specific monuments, and I would
mm,
be very curious to see that.
fair enough. Uh,
Imagine you go there and it's aliens. It was aliens all along.
oh, like in the pyramids. Yeah,
That would be.
I knew it.
No,
Yeah,
I have absolutely no belief whatsoever in aliens helping building those things.
and me
Any
neither.
of the
Why
things.
the hell would you help other people? It's a capitalist society. Go fuck yourself. Do your own thing. No, but if I were, I think I would go into like the Mycenaean period,
Yeah. Hmm.
ancient Greece, because I need to find out about that Atlantis stuff. I need it. I want to know. I need to know if it was real or not. And also, what's the deal with Easter Island? Yeah.
What do you mean? What's the deal with Easter Island?
Well, they have those.
Yeah,
You,
I know about the heads, but what do you need to know? Because might be that the answer is actually there and you just haven't found it.
why did you build them? What was the point?
Yeah, they have speculations. I'm not sure they could confirm that, but it's mostly ancestor worship. That's one of the main
That's not
theories.
insane. Couldn't you make like a woman or a young one or I don't know, different shapes and sizes, just the same thing? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, but yeah,
Um,
actually, Easter Island could be interesting, and I would love to see like Easter Island or Iceland forested before they cut all the trees.
but there are no more trees in Iceland.
No, they don't have forests anymore. It's just, I
Oh,
mean, they do have trees, but they don't have like forests anymore.
oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Huh.
like the Vikings just removed everything. Well, not the
Well, hey,
Vikings, but
you
the
need
Norse. Yeah,
you need them both, man. What are you
yeah.
gonna do?
You need to
Hmm.
go and discover America before everyone else.
That's one aspect that I really love nowadays because as technology improves more and more, we can see and find some more truth, let's say, to early periods and what happened. So,
Hmm.
if 50 years ago we would say that, hey, Leif Erikson actually discovered North America and made the first colony in Vinland, they would say you're, well, I don't know what's the terminology then, like a communist, maybe.
Yeah, fucking commie.
Yeah. Um, And yeah, now it was clearly discovered that yeah, there was the first colony there, and it was most probably made by Leif Erikson, which was the son of Eric the Red, which I think I will use as my firstborn's name. To be honest, I've thought about it a long time.
Leif or
Eric,
Eric?
but with a
Yeah,
K.
Eric is a strong name.
I just like the name, and it just sounds
Yeah.
so cool, especially with the Viking nostalgia in the last what 10 years.
Yeah, and it's a strong. It's an easy name. It's a short name. It's not too
Yeah,
long. And yeah.
it's just right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so what's your ninth question?
let's see. Ooh, your guilty pleasure TV show.
It's funny. Um, Guilty pleasure.
Yeah, in the sense that
I don't have guilty pleasures. I only have pleasures. I'm not. I don't feel guilt about anything.
this is a weird thing. So you're saying to me that you grew up Protestant where you have to live with your sins,
Yeah,
with your guilt, and you just found a way, like, you know what? I found a loophole. I'm just not going to feel guilty about anything. So therefore,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
that
Like
is a pretty nice shortcut.
I try to have my actions be in sync with how I feel about things. Although how I feel about things may evolve in time, but at the time I would take actions I think that are in sync with how I feel, and that way I minimize the amount of regrets that I have.
I think most serial
And
killers would agree with you.
yeah.
This is how I feel. I act upon it, and hey, no shame in it. Everyone's their own person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have any like anything that maybe you wouldn't necessarily tell other people.
No, I like sharing what I watch, and people might like it or not, but I happily share my interest, and I'm really happy when I show something to someone and they fall in love with it, or they get it triggers their interest in a topic or something like that. So, no, I have nothing that I would watch and not admit watching.
I have it. I have one.
Yeah,
Orange is the New Black.
yeah, but then again, it's so okay. Go on, explain why.
So because it's a show about female prisoners in prison, and it's not perceived as very manly thing to watch.
Why
However,
not?
um, why not? Well, that's not a question for me. That's
Maybe in
you
your
would criticize me.
perception, yeah, but yeah, go on. But
Maybe
yeah,
my perception, yeah, is that
yeah, that's what makes it a guilty pleasure then for you
yeah,
because of your
exactly. But
perception of it. Yeah.
in the sense that I actually fell in love with those girls, and I actually care for them, and I hope that Alex ends up with Piper and all that, and she gets out of jail, and I got really
Spoiler
invested in it.
alert.
Yeah, I got really invested in it basically. Oh, and when I was a kid, I used to love watching soap operas, but only because something down told me like let's look at pretty girls. That's
Because
something
of
that we
all
should
those
do.
Latinas.
Oh my God, and that's where I
What kind of
developed
soap
my love
operas
for
did you get? Did
movies.
you get the South American ones, the Brazilian ones,
Um,
or
I remember my
like
first
Marimar?
one. Marima, oh my God, yes, yes,
We
that
had
was
that
the
in
first
Africa as
one.
well.
That was the first one that I saw.
Marimar. Da, 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 da.
Oh my God, that Tyler, man, I was so in love with her, and I would watch her religiously just because I would love the way she looked. I think the first ever woman that I watched, and I felt something inside me that told me that okay, from now on, this is what we like, was um, Sailor Moon, if you remember.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah,
So you remember there was a scene where she would transform into Sailor Moon, and
yeah,
her entire body would, it would show the shapes of
yeah,
her
yeah.
female body.
I know what you're talking about.
And that was the first time that I was like, "What the hell is that? That is amazing! I want that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I want it." Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
hated
I
that
think
the
Sailor
last
Moon
thing.
was quite the revelation for a lot of guys from our generation. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that would be
definitely.
the one. There was Cutie Honey that came a bit later as well.
Cutie honey.
Yeah, and she was more of a woman than a girl, actually. Oh, you should check it out if you don't know what it is.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, and My last question would be, what is the last movie you've seen in theaters?
Oh, Spider-Man, the last one. No way
No Way Home.
home, no way out, whatever. Yeah,
No Way Home. Yeah.
yeah, that was one. And I was very surprised that in this current woke climate, it was a very good movie. I loved it. It was very, very entertaining, and obviously because it brought like the real Spider-Man on screen, of course, not
Yeah.
this boy. Um,
Which one is it for you?
well, the real Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire, of course.
Oh my god. I actually like him better in No Way Home than in the original movies. For some reason, I couldn't really. He didn't work for me.
I liked it because it was the first Spider-Man, and I was still at that age where I would, like those sorts of movies, and it was technologically advanced. Because first, I saw my first ever Spider-Man movie. It was a movie from like the 70s,
Hmm.
and Spider-Man had like this apparatus that where he would, you wouldn't shoot the web out of his wrists. It was just something that he made up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cartoons were like that as well. My favorite Spider-Man incarnation was the Andrew Garfield one. I really liked him. I like
Like Andrew
Andrew
Garfield?
Garfield as an actor.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, I would say. Honestly, I kind of like Tom Holland as well. I don't
Mm,
mind him. In the sense,
I've only seen actually No Way Home. I haven't seen the two others with him. So yeah.
he gives off this very interesting vibe as Spider-Man in the sense that he's just a teenage kid, and that's kind of the way he was always portrayed to be. Which is why, for me, like Tobey Maguire and the other one, they were just a bit too mature for the actual role.
For me, Andrew Garfield was a very good, like, young adult Spider-Man.
Mm.
He felt believable to me, and also he's a huge fan of the series, and he hated filming those movies because of the image it was giving, and the like just the shooting and everything was really not something he enjoyed. And
I
he was a diehard fan of Spider-Man, and they disgusted him from it.
To be honest, I think the best Spider-Man was the cartoon series.
Oh, yeah, the cartoon series, but in terms of movies, my favorite is definitely the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
The animated one with Miles Morales, I think is his name, the black kid.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, you should watch it. The music is
Not because
awesome.
he's
The
black,
music is
just
awesome.
I've never seen it.
And the first of all, the soundtrack is a killer, and the animation is so fucking good. It's crazy.
Would you say it's better than the cartoon series of
Yeah,
Spider-Man, but the one with where
yeah,
they
the
have
one
like
where he
the
tries his spider web on his aunt's cooking pot.
I don't remember that one. I would say it's the show where like the intro was a song. It was a very guitar song.
Yeah, yeah, it's this one. It's the one that was, I think, about the same period as the very good X-Men
Oh,
cartoon as well.
loved X-Men as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The movie is better. It's not the same thing because it's just a movie. It's not an entire
Hmm.
series, but it is better. Like you have a lot of Spider-Man, obviously, in that movie, and they are all quite unique and very interesting as characters. And
Hmm.
I
Okay.
really really enjoyed it. And in terms of animation, it's a masterpiece, and in terms of music, it's also a masterpiece. Like it's very very good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hit me up on WhatsApp. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I'll download it. That's cool.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay.
And for me, the last movie I went to see was 2 weeks ago. I think it was the Batman.
The Batman. How do you feel
The
about it?
Batman. Huh?
How do you feel about it?
I hated it.
Oh
It
man,
was way too long, and it's not a bad movie. But it's so far from being a good movie that it makes it very detestable because of how long it is.
I found that I have very, very peculiar tastes in my Batman movies. Like, first off, Batman is my favorite superhero, hands down. Just because, all the smarts and millions and that sort of thing. Um, just being a superhero without actually having superpowers. Just I found that amazing. So I liked his story, his dark story, and all that. But my favorite Batman movies have nothing to do with the new ones. My favorite ones were the ones directed by
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah. It was
1989 Batman.
because the emphasis was on the villains, and the villains make the
Exactly.
Batman.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly true. I
yeah.
loved how Jack Nicholson played it. I also love
The
how
Joker. Yeah,
I also love the other two Jokers, like Joaquin Phoenix. I liked it. However, I wouldn't
I haven't seen
necessarily.
it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I feel quite ambivalent towards Joaquin Phoenix.
It's a very. I would say he's quite an
No,
artist.
not him as an actor. Don't get me wrong. Like he's a very good actor. Him as a person, I have more um, issues with. Like he's a pompous ass,
Oh, yeah. I don't
and
usually check the private lives of people that I like because I 99% of the time I
oh,
find that
he
they're
will
absolute.
fall 100% in the categories of people you hate.
Yeah, I bet.
He represents a lot of things you don't like. You will see if you start looking up.
But in terms of from an artistic point of view, Joker was honestly a very very good movie. It was so good, I would say, that I wouldn't even categorize it as part of like this action movie genre, like the Avengers and all that.
But it's not meant to be. It's something that is closer, I think, akin to like mental issues and stuff like that. So
It's more as real life.
more of like yes, society's issues.
But yeah, as I said, 1989 Batman. Is that one with the Penguin?
I think it would be the
Danny
one
DeVito?
with Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
So that intro and Danny DeVito himself when like the Penguin died, I actually cried for him. I was like 11 years old, and I just felt that movie deep inside. It was just beautiful. Everything about it was amazing. And
Mhm.
actually, if I'm not mistaken, Val
It's the one
Kilmer
with the Catwoman as well, right? The one with the
with
Penguin.
Catwoman, yeah,
Yeah.
played by Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, with a lot of good actors who played in there. And what I particularly liked, I found that out years later, was that Val Kilmer, if I'm not mistaken, was playing the part of
Yeah.
Batman.
Hmm.
He was actually going through a divorce at that time, and it just gave a bit more gravity to the role as Batman. You could see it on him that he had like a troubled past and hasn't really quite got over it, and
Okay.
you could feel it.
I don't remember it that well because I was quite young when I saw it, but I should watch it again. For me, I would say that my favorite is Hellblazer, John Constantine.
Ooh, okay.
He's such an amazing character.
He is very interesting. Yeah,
He
very
is
interesting.
very very interesting.
Like even the movie with
With
Keanu
Keanu
Reeves,
Reeves, yeah.
I loved it so much that I was pissed that I didn't get a sequel or something.
I was pissed
Very good.
because I loved the TV show that they axed it. I was so pissed because the guy they found to play John was so fucking good. He was really embodying something of the character from the comics. So I really really liked him.
So what's it called?
The actor,
No, no, the TV show.
Constantine.
Just Constantine. Okay. Oh, it was the animated one.
Hmm?
Was it the animated one?
No. It's a
Live action.
it's a live action, and Matt Ryan is the guy playing John Constantine, and yeah, he's very very good.
Oh man, just one season. Oh, I hate it
I
when
even watched sorry, a few episodes of um, Green Arrow because they brought him back for the show because it's in the same universe.
okay.
And I just watched those episodes just to see a bit more of that guy playing Constantine.
Yeah, I hate it when you have like this really cool show and it's really coming together and has a lot of potential, but for some reasons, especially in producing it or like high up, they just don't agree on continuing it. The same thing was with Jupiter's Legacy, if you've seen the show.
I was quite. I wanted to like that show, but yeah, I'm still going to watch what comes next if they do like a second season.
They
But
won't do it. They
they
won't
won't
do
do
it.
it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I really liked it. But one show that I'm really psyched about, can't wait to see it, is The Boys. Oh my God, I just
The next
love it.
season, yeah, I just can't wait for the next season. I binged
So
it.
good.
I remember you talking to me about that show like a
Yeah.
while back, and I think it was like in November.
Mm,
I had run out of things to watch, and I was like, oh, I just got Prime. Let me check what they have because I have nothing to watch on Netflix.
mm.
And then The Boys was up there, and I think I had just gotten my Oculus Rift, my VR headset, and you can watch Amazon Prime with a VR headset, like in a theater, like it simulates
Oh,
a cinema, and it's very cool. So I was watching The Boys, the first season, the first two seasons like that, and I can't wait
sorry.
for the next season to come out.
Yeah, they released the trailer.
Really? I don't want to watch it. I just want to go in like and
Full
see
on.
what comes.
Gonna be really cool. I loved
Yeah.
it.
I like the guy who plays the fake CIA agent. I really like his voice and his acting and stuff. He really makes the show.
The fake CIA agent. Don't remember who that
The
is.
main character, like the main human character, the one who goes and recruits the guy who works in the repair shop for.
Oh, okay, like the sissy boy.
Yeah, I forgot the name. I don't because I binged it and I watched it like in such a short amount of time. I don't remember the name of any of the characters. But yeah,
Starlight, if I'm not mistaken.
Starlight, yeah, she's the blonde, the girl who joined the superheroes, and
Yeah.
but oh fuck, now I have to check. Sorry, is it
No
Butch or
worries.
something like that? He looks like someone who would be called Butch,
He does look like a butcher, and that's true.
right? Well, Billy Butcher. So yeah.
And there we go. Yeah, it was. Can't wait for the next season to come.
Hmm.
And I don't know what other show. I know some shows are bound to. Oh, Peaky Blinders, the last season. I want to watch that as well. I think it was the show with the best soundtrack I've ever heard.
I've watched like two episodes and then I stopped.
I did the same thing. I watched like the first, like even half of the first episode, and like, what is this shit? I can't watch this.
Hmm.
And then the same as with the boys, with you, I just had nothing to watch. And like, okay, let's watch a few episodes. And by episode 3 or 5, if I'm not mistaken, like things really heat up and it
Okay.
becomes this very interesting world, and all sorts of very interesting characters come up. And I did a bit of research, and a lot of those things actually happened. Obviously, not with the Peaky Blinders because they were just like a rough English, mafioso group. So
Yeah.
nothing like is presented in the show. But otherwise, the rise of Sir Winston Churchill and the guy who wanted to bring Nazism in England. I don't remember his name, but yeah, there
Maybe
was.
I'll give it another go. But there is another show that I want to watch first. Also, something that I tried watching in the past. I watched like the first two episodes. Then I think I was not in the mood to watch that, but I really want to go through it. Is the Man in the High Castle?
Oh yeah, 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 definitely. I love the. I think he's the main actor, the one with the sleepy eye.
I cannot remember anything of it. Like I just watched, as I said, two episodes, and I was not into it. And I'm going
I
to.
did the same thing and I stopped it. But yeah, if you do watch it, do let me know if
Yeah.
you consider make
Okay.
this more interesting.
And what's your last question? The 10th question.
Um, well, this is not as personal, but I'm curious on your opinion. Why the hell is Friends so sought after, and why does it suck from your perspective?
Friends,
Friends,
as in people,
TV
or
show.
Friends the TV show? Oh, you're going to make enemies for saying
I
that.
fucking hate it.
I don't hate it. I like it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I guess it's more of the nostalgia bit
Like
of it. It's just
from
that
what
I
I've
grew up
seen,
watching it, and now it just brings like memories of when I was a kid and stuff like that. And the humor grew on me. It's not like in and of itself, like someone discovering Friends now, I'm not sure they would find it that funny.
That's what happened to me
Um,
because I never watched it when I was a kid. I
yeah,
grew up on
I think
Seinfeld.
that's why. But to me, yeah, I just you grow to love the characters, and then when you watch it again, you're like, oh yeah, that happened and that happened. I like it. I have no qualms with Friends at all. It's not the funniest show by far, but it's a decent show.
Yeah, the thing that made me hate it, to be honest, is not that it's a bad show. It definitely isn't.
The laugh
Uh,
track,
sorry?
the laugh track.
Oh my, yeah. First off, just stop it. Those jokes were not that funny, first of all. And second, I liked the quirkiness of a lot of the characters.
Hmm.
Obviously, Jennifer Aniston never wearing a bra, that sold it to me. Um, but because I watched it later in life, so I only found it when I was about, I would say, what, 28, 29 years old. I grew up on Seinfeld, so that's the kind of humor that when I watch
Yeah,
Seinfeld now, I was
but
like, oh yeah,
that's why actually that's why you cannot like Friends. That's precisely why you cannot like Friends because you grew up on Seinfeld. And um, I discovered so I knew about Seinfeld, but I never watched it until 2015. Loredana pushed me to watch it,
mhm,
and I fell in love with that show. Like
right,
Seinfeld is a million times way funnier
exactly.
than Friends, but it had I known Seinfeld before, I would not have been able to watch Friends.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I know the jokes that they're reusing or the situations and stuff like that, um, and I know that for some reason the characters in Seinfeld make it work better than in Friends.
Yeah, yeah. Like Friends was, I would say, was the archetype of like all the other TV shows that came after it, in the sense of, we're just a group of friends and we all these real life things happen to us, but they're kind of funny and we still stay friends. And he hooks up with her and whatever, and you break up and then you get back together, and kind of real life situations in a way. Um, it's just that because I've seen all the other shows that used Friends as a benchmark, so stuff like How I Met Your Mother, or I don't know, whatever else, any
Like the Big Bang Theory, like any
big, exactly,
sitcom
yeah,
type of
any
yeah.
sitcom type, yeah. Friends was the archetype. So because I watched those of us first, I didn't get that much into it, and also Seinfeld having a totally different style of comedy from Friends, that's what got ingrained in me. So that's I love weird comedy. So something that's out of the ordinary, not just, or something that is ordinary, but you make it in a very
Yeah,
weird,
you make it like
totally weird way.
yeah, yeah. The humor in Seinfeld works better on me than Friends. That's for
It's,
sure.
I would say it's more, and I don't want to, step on anyone's toes. I just feel that the humor in Seinfeld is more refined, I would say. And well, obviously the showrunners were comedians, famous comedians already. And one of the main reason why I really appreciated that show was because it ended after what, like 9 seasons,
I
and it
think it
was
was
huge.
yeah,
It was
and it's
so
just because
huge.
Seinfeld was didn't want to do it anymore. Like
Yeah, yeah,
they didn't get cut.
yeah. He
Yeah.
just said it. Look, we're the best that we've ever been, and there's no topping this, so we might as well just end it here. And I really appreciated him for that, because that was kind of the last TV shows that did that. Because nowadays you can see very well they're trying to do
Until
uh,
it gets killed because it cannot go any further. Yeah.
exactly. They just like put it on life support and just let it die already. Don't revive it.
These
It's a shame.
pretzels are making me thirsty.
Oh yeah, 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 I love that. And also, what's the deal with airline peanuts? Yeah, they had all these very weird juxtapositions there, and also,
George is getting upset. I love George. George really sells the show.
it
George
really
and
does.
Kramer are really they're gems.
Yeah. By the way, don't look up Kramer in real life. I
I
hate
know
him as
everything
well.
about it already, and yeah, it's fine. Like it didn't phase me at all. It
Yeah,
was
I like
another
to just
time.
separate the people from the
Hmm.
actors. And another one that I love from that time, and it'll also actually Seinfeld was such a big show at that time that I remember that in 1998, when I was 9 years old, they actually had a competition in Romania for Seinfeld characters lookalikes.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously, and they won like a few tens of thousands of dollars. It was such a big show here. Everyone watched it. That and Married with Children. First off, unfortunately, that show would be cancelled like instantly if you would ever
I
do it.
haven't watched it.
You haven't watched Married with Children?
No, I don't think so. Let
Oh
me.
my God, man. It is like the show was so funny.
Oh, yeah. No,
Come on.
actually, yeah. I've seen a few episodes here and there. I could not catch it. Keep in mind, I grew up in Africa, so most of those shows were not available there.
Mm.
I would catch a few episodes here and there while I was on vacation in Europe, but I couldn't like follow them per se. And I don't know if you've watched uh, how is it called? Modern Family.
Yeah, of course. I did.
You've watched it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
all of it.
because Ed O'Neill is in that, and I really love his brand of humor, and I'm pretty sure that I could enjoy Married with Kids.
Like imagine him, but
But
on steroids and a lot younger and a lot wittier. That's him in Married with Children. It was just line after line after line of just misogyny and just blatant funny stuff that they just didn't care about any PC police or anything, and they actually got into a lot of trouble. There were a lot of organizations that tried to shut it down, and apparently it was very difficult to film it because they were just straight up laughing when they would tell the line, so they had to take so many retakes, but it was just hilarious.
Mm. Yeah, I will put it on my list because I had forgotten about that completely. I really like Ed O'Neill, and I just want to watch more of him actually.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. He's definitely worth it.
Mm.
Yeah, so those would be it. And I think we finished all the
For the
questions.
questions, yeah, we finished. I had a few other things
Go ahead.
just to chit chat a bit and then close the podcast. But we are already like an hour and 15 minutes.
Is that we do?
I think we can go for another like 15 minutes, and then
Yeah, definitely.
that would be um, yeah. So I went to a party on Saturday night. A friend of mine is moving back to Toulouse, and it was like a goodbye party for her.
Okay.
And there is I met a guy there called Dan, and turns out he was Romanian. So we started talking and everything. He's really cool. He currently works at Ubisoft,
Hmm.
and
I know Dan that works at Ubisoft.
in Paris.
No, no, no.
No, I'm talking in Paris. No, it was not that Dan. He was actually very very cool. And so I was the one in control of the music at the beginning of the party, and I played a song that he had not heard in a very long time, Perfect Faratine.
Well, which one?
Perfect Faratine.
Huh. I do
Oh,
not.
come on, don't. You...
No, no, I'm not. It was just during that time, like early 2000s. Oh, okay, Vama, Vama. Yeah,
Faratine.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Vama, exactly. Like I was afraid for a moment you would not know that song,
No,
and
I was just
yeah.
thinking which. I don't know any perfect band. Yeah,
Mhm.
the exact song. Oh yeah, no, I don't
Yeah,
know.
so we talked a lot about music and stuff like that. He pissed off from Romania a while back, and he's not coming back. Like, his entire family pissed off. They live in Denmark now. They don't want to go back to Romania.
We shouldn't, trader. Just kidding.
No, he was really cool. He was one of the nicest guy I've spoken to at that party. I was a
So,
bit upset though because, well, not upset, but it was bound to happen. Everybody wanted to talk with the person leaving, so obviously I didn't get that much time to talk with her. But I'm going to visit another friend in Toulouse in like May,
Mm.
so I hope we get a chance to all get together. Actually, I think they could get along as well with my friend.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. And on Friday, I tried out Bikram Yoga,
Okay.
which is like yoga on steroids. You do it in a room that is heated. It's over like 40 degrees in the room,
Damn.
and you do 90 minutes of non-stop yoga. Like there are no breaks. 90 minutes non-stop uh, with 40
Shit.
degrees heat. That was so fucking brutal. It was really nice though, but since I'm still recovering from the Rona, my lungs were not ready for that.
Mm.
Like I saw black 2 or 3 times. Like while standing up, I was like, okay, oh, I lost connection here. What's happening? Or I could not catch my breath or stuff like that.
Mm. You sound
But
like an ex-girlfriend.
but it is nice. If you can find it in Bucharest, you should try it once. Um,
Did yoga when on my previous relationships. I kind of liked it, but nowadays I don't know if I told you. I actually started working out at home because I've been working from home for like 2 years now.
yeah.
So I've tried this like prison workout. So
Okay.
yeah, I got like there's like this weird rotating device, let's say for like the abdomen, and then I have some
Is it
handles.
the one you hold with your hands and then you roll
Yeah,
forward and come back? Yeah.
yeah, that,
Okay.
which is
Does that
not.
work?
It does work, but it's really not easy. Um, and then I got some handles to do like push-ups, and then I got like some rubber bands that I can just try different
I cannot.
types of exercise with them.
I cannot work out with rubber bands. I'm so nervous with those. It's one of the many
Yeah,
things
because you
that
think they're
make
gonna
me
break
very,
at one
very
point.
yeah. Not that I would have the strength to break it, but I would have the luck to break it.
It can
Uh,
happen. Yeah,
it must be
I've been
so
trying.
painful. I've seen videos of people getting hit, but they think like you. I could swear like they were going to be cut in half. Like it looks so fucking painful.
But would they break, or would they not fasten them well enough?
I don't know. I didn't look twice. I just saw the pain and I was like, okay, next. This is not something, which didn't help with my confidence in using those stupid bands.
Hmm.
So what else did you get?
Yeah, so just these three: the bands, the rotating thing for the abdomen, and the some hand bells type of thing
Hmm.
for doing push-ups. And I've just been doing like push-ups and sit-ups mostly, and I couldn't believe the results. Like in a month, I started getting my abs back, like from when I was 19, and it just started showing a lot of muscle and all that. So I was like, wow, okay. But then again, I did change my diet a lot because in my previous work, I told you I worked like 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. I had to change my lifestyle so that I could work so many hours. So I started waking up like really early, doing some exercises on the balcony, no matter the weather,
Hmm.
taking cold showers almost every morning, and just working out as soon as I woke up. And also, I changed my diet. I started eating a lot of meat. Started eating less potatoes and especially less bread because well, you know
It's
how
the
Romanians love their bread.
bread is the killer. Like bread is the worst enemy.
Yeah, so I just stopped altogether.
Yeah, try
Weirdly enough,
stopping bread when you live in France and you have actually proper bread to eat.
yeah, I wouldn't have that problem. The only thing is, I noticed that for 2 or 3 days, I was in actual withdrawal
Yeah,
after
I can
eating
see
bread.
that. Hmm.
It was so weird. I was very like nervous and agitated all day long, and just wanted to punch someone in the face.
Yeah, the thing is that bread also brings a lot of sugar.
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
mostly it. So yeah, once I started doing that, and now I don't eat bread at all, or pastry or stuff like that, and I just feel amazing because after I eat like a salad with like a steak, I feel great. I don't feel full. I can do even some hard labor or whatever, and
Yeah, you don't
perfect.
feel like passing out for a nap after eating.
Exactly, yeah. And also, I started taking naps as well, but like I
Hmm.
started taking like these Japanese naps, like 10-minute naps. power naps, basically.
Yeah, the power naps. I cannot do 10 minutes. I can do 20, but 10 is hard.
Yeah, I stopped
But
doing.
you don't. I guess you don't actually fall asleep. You just doze off for
Yeah,
like 10 minutes. Yeah.
and I found that it was better than drinking, I don't know, half a liter of coffee. It was just better. I stopped
Mhm.
drinking coffee as well. I'm drinking like green and black tea.
So you're still getting caffeine.
Yeah, yeah, I'm still getting it, but in other ways, let's say.
Yeah.
So yeah, that actually worked out pretty great. I'm in kind of a good shape, except for obviously the last few days, and the reason why you're hearing my voice as it is right now.
Yeah. Talking about sport, I was thinking of starting Muay Thai. Muay Thai.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be cool. That would be really cool. I would
Yeah.
love to learn like a combat sport, because I don't like I would say I'm pretty fit nowadays, and I have the rage that you would need in a fight. I just don't have the technique.
I think that kickboxing is quite popular in Romania. You can easily find
It is, yeah, it is.
things to do that. I think like every like even gyms like regular gyms would give kickboxing lessons. How
Mm.
good their lessons are, that's something else. Then I wouldn't know. But
You get to punch something and feel better about yourself. So
you
that way.
should definitely buy a bag for home.
Um,
In
I don't.
Decathlon, they sell them. They're not that expensive.
No, no, I know that. It's just I told you I started taking piano lessons.
Hmm.
So I want to buy like a digital piano. So I would need that in the room, and I also need like a proper desk. Maybe I'll get that wonderful gaming PC. So I wouldn't really have a lot of room where to put it.
If you're
Uh,
going to get a desk, I would recommend you do what I did this Saturday. I just went to Leroy Merlin, and there is one in yeah, there are a couple in Bucharest.
oh, to
Um,
Leroy Merlin. Yeah, okay.
yeah, Leroy
That's
Merlin.
what I call it.
Yeah, it's not Leroy. And I took a well, you've seen the picture, like a wooden board. It's quite a
Mhm.
heavy one. It's 160 over 80 uh,
So it's pretty.
centimeters. And I bought two. I will send you a picture. It's like something you would use to, yeah, put planks on to cut or stuff like that, and you just put the big board on top of those two things, and you have room to put stuff under your desk, and you can lift it or put it lower. And I have a lot of room. Like I have room for my work computer. I have my two 32-inch screens. I have room to draw on the desk. I have room for a lot of things now on the desk. It's quite nice. I have a lot of real estate. And it's not more expensive than a regular desk, and you can pick an actual proper size. You can ask them to cut it. Like you can take measurements where you want to put it, and they will cut it
Mhm.
to the exact measurements that you need.
That actually doesn't sound bad at all. Also, this is the thing that I never understood when I was a child. What is the best position that you would put a desk that you're working on
Oh, I was thinking
compared
that
to
I
what?
was sure that question was going an entire different direction. Uh, what do you mean? Like,
So, um, so in a room, right, with four walls and the exterior wall is a window.
mhm.
What is the best position to place?
Ideally, you want to have the window behind the screens because you don't want to have the reflection on the screen.
Okay, so okay, yeah,
You
but I
see
have
what I
the
mean?
heater right under the.
That's not that much of an issue. You can, like, for instance, with the one I've built, I have enough room to have a heater behind the desk, like it would cover the heater. Um, Otherwise, you would need curtains. Listen to your friend, buy curtains, and then you can mask the light when you're using the screens.
Yeah, well, no, I'll definitely buy curtains at one point. I need
Yeah,
them.
and it also depends on how your room, how big the room is. Like, is it big enough so that you can have your desk as a centerpiece? You put it in the middle of the room, and then you have stuff
Um,
on, all around the desk. You arrange the room around the desk.
mm, Not exact, almost, but not quite.
You can do that halfway, like you put one of the sides of the desk against the wall, but not the back of the desk, just a side. And then you can use the space behind the desk and on the side, like it makes like a small corridor on the side of the desk and stuff like that.
Oh, I
But
see
it
what you
creates a separation in the room. That way you can keep the window on the other side of the screens.
mean. Yeah, the thing is that I also want to, as I said, want to put the piano there in the same room, so
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
then
need to
I
overlap.
think you will need to use the corners and stuff like that. Yeah,
But
you can put in one corner you have the desk, and on the opposite side in the back you have the piano, and you
mhm.
get a chair that rolls so that you can just roll from the computer to the piano.
I, that's something that I will definitely invest some money in. I need a good chair
Yeah,
because once you reach a certain age, you kind of crave comfort. So yeah, I needs me a good chair.
yeah. Tell me about it. I have osteoarthritis. Arthritis.
Is that something to do with the bones?
Yeah, in my spine.
Oh shit,
Yeah, I'm 33 and I have like an old guy disease.
that sucks.
Yeah, and I think it comes from sitting down with chairs that are not proper chairs for so long. And
Yeah, no,
yeah.
definitely. I've been having back
Mhm.
problems for like several years now, and the only way to alleviate them is just to exercise. That's one of the main reasons actually
Yeah,
why I do it.
you need to grow the muscles in your back to hold your
Exactly.
spine actually, and that's one of the reasons I want to get back into. First of all, I need to start climbing again now that all the things have passed with the sickness and all of that. This week I want to try diving. There is a diving
Ooh.
pool in Paris. I want to go and try it, and maybe go once or twice climbing. I'll see how much I can do because I haven't been exercising in a while,
Hmm.
and then I'm going to start boxing. But for that, I first need to go to the doctors because they have to in France they have to give their approval to let you go and do that kind of sports. Sports that have a lot of shocks, you need to have an approval from a doctor.
Why do you want to do boxing? Because I did boxing when I was a kid.
I used to box when I was younger as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, but now I'm going to do Thai boxing simply because I'm moving there next year. And my uncle has a martial arts school there, and he hangs out with a lot of martial artists.
Nice.
And I want to be part of the crew, like talk
I,
with people and have something to talk about, actually.
I can already imagine like a movie being made. Like a like a
The
black
black
guy
guy
going,
going to
yeah,
Thai.
going to this stuff, and he's really bad at first, and then the old guy teaches him, and he just becomes better and falls in love with like a local team. But um,
Yeah, Tin would be a
apparently
bit
don't
young
want
for
to.
me if I were to act in that movie.
Yeah, that well, Miles Morales would play you probably, so that'll be cool.
No, but it's I actually don't know who voiced the character because it's a cartoon.
Oh wait, so
So,
the character's name is Miles Morales.
huh?
The character's name is Miles
Yeah,
Morales,
The Spider-Man's name is Miles Morales.
but Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker.
It's not the only Spider-Man.
Oh, it's like a multi-universe
Yeah,
thing. Oh,
it's a
man, always
multiverse.
got away with anything.
And you actually get to see like Peter Parker and also like a Deathstroke Peter Parker who failed everything in his life. Like he looks like a 40-year-old with with a beer belly and everything, and he's a good guy, but like his life is shit. Like he fucked up his life. It's quite interesting to see like all those versions of Spider-Man.
Hmm. Fair enough. That's interesting. Yeah, I would also love doing, to be honest, rock climbing. I noticed that uh,
Climbing
I,
is the best. I love it.
I'm actually good at it. I found I'm not very good at looking down once I get up. Like my
Oh,
knees start
I have a fear of heights,
yeah, same.
but it's not a problem. Like I enjoy climbing despite the fear of heights.
Yeah, me too. But once I reach the top, I don't like looking down.
Oh, but that's like when you're rope climbing or when you're bouldering.
What's the difference between rope climbing and bouldering?
In rope climbing, you have a rope.
Oh no, no rope.
No, so bouldering, but the bouldering walls are very small. Like I would fall from the top of those walls with no problems.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. They're not that high.
I think
Yeah,
I
but
know why I liked it because when I was young, in Reshitsa we have a lot of forest around it, so a lot of hills. So when I was a kid, I used to go in the woods daily, actually. So we would just climb trees and basically climb anything. So I just got a kick out of it from an early age. Just got used to it, and
yeah,
obviously I fell down quite a lot. So
yeah, but when you're a kid, you're like elastic. You can just like fall on the ground and get running right away.
true, true. But I did see like a kid fall from like 2 meters high. He
He did
he
not get up.
wasn't watching. Well, not by himself, no.
um, that's one of the thing with climbing. I got more and more comfortable with the idea of like missing a step and falling like the entire way to the floor and stuff like that. You you get used to that.
Hmm. But if you have a rope, if you don't have a rope, that's kind of.
No, no, without I don't do rope climbing. I'm not a great fan of rope climbing. I exclusively do bouldering.
So when you say rope climbing, you mean in the sense that you don't have a rope sustaining you in case that you fall?
When you're bouldering, you don't have a rope. No,
There's nothing protecting you if you
there is
fall.
nothing protecting you. But the walls are smaller. They're not that high.
I see. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I
Like
know. The idea.
the rope climbing ones usually go between 7 and like 14 meters in
Hmm.
height, and bouldering usually it's like 5 meters, something like that.
I would love to do, to be honest, I would love to do like, what's it called? Bouldering, but like out in the wild. So not,
Yeah, it is bouldering. It's the same thing. It's either
yeah.
rope climbing and or bouldering. I did both with a lot of my housemates actually climb. And last year we went in the south of France in the mountains, and we did that. We did well. We were mostly doing rope climbing, but doing it in nature is not the same. Like it's entirely different. You don't have the mattresses and stuff like that. You do take mattresses if you're bouldering in the wild, but when
Hmm.
you're rope climbing, you're on your own. Like you better trust that rope and the guy that is holding you.
That's pretty cool. I'm guessing the adrenaline that you feel is pretty dope.
It is once the like I was struggling a lot in the beginning because it was like my first time climbing outside. But the first wall I finished, I was like, oh my god, like I'm your god now. There is no one above me. Like I was feeling so proud of myself, and the view was amazing in the region once you reach the top of whatever you were climbing.
And that's what I would like to do as well. And to be honest, that would be a very good way to die, I would say. Nice, quick, clean, while
Uh,
trying to achieve something great.
but that's the thing. You won't be achieving anything great, and yeah,
What do you mean?
unless you're opening a new way, you're not achieving anything. Like the ways are there. You're just climbing something that has already been climbed before.
Fair enough, it's not virgin territory, but I climbed something. It's an achievement in a way. Not a big one, but still.
I have a higher standard on what I want to die from. Like I wouldn't mind jumping up from space like the Red Bull guy and dying from that. That would be nice. I wouldn't mind going like that.
I think it's very painful because you know who died like that, right? Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space.
No, he did not.
I think he died. I
No.
know for a fact that one of the people who went in space died like that when he was coming back to Earth, and
Yeah,
he
but
just
he was in the he was in the oh I forgot the name of the he was coming back in the vessel. I'm talking
Sputnik.
about I'm talking about the guy who went at the edge of
I know.
space and just
I know who you're
jumped
talking
like parachuting.
about. Yeah, I know. I saw it.
I think that's a nice way of dying if you were to die of something.
Yeah, but the thing is, you would burn, wouldn't you?
No, the
Is
where
they're already
he,
in the atmosphere.
yeah, you're at the limit of the
Oh, I see, I
atmosphere,
see. Yeah,
so you're not at the part where you would be burning up, and you're not coming with enough speed and from far enough for it to build up that much resistance and burn up.
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that would be a good way to die, to be honest.
Yeah,
One way, but hmm. Yeah, the worst thing would be to, well, I would like to die in my sleep,
like everyone, yeah.
or
Never wake up, like peacefully dreaming of,
yeah,
like having a wet dream and never waking up,
yeah,
getting
that would be
stuck
perfect.
in that wet dream forever.
What more can a man want? Or
Exactly
actually
like God
dying
intended.
while nutting. Yeah, that would be cool as
If
well.
it's instant, yeah.
Kind of doubt it would be instant because technically, in order to die like that, you would either have to have a brain aneurysm or a heart attack. The brain aneurysm doesn't hurt as much, but the heart attack does. But hopefully, I would have nutted by then. So because it would suck, to die with a boner. It would just be. Hopefully, she would finish me off. I think that's just out of respect for her.
I think that's, yeah, it's common courtesy. Like, come on, you.
It's there,
Yeah.
let paramedics see me like this. Yeah, I'll put that in my will.
And on that note, I think we're going to stop for tonight.
Sure.
Okay, it was very nice, and we'll see when we're going to record the next one. Yeah, I think
Great.
the next one we can start. We can try out picking a topic,
Yep, yep.
and then like try and stay on that topic for the duration of the podcast.
That will be a challenge, but yeah, we'll try
We
it.
will see. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Have a nice
All
evening.
right. Have a nice
Bye.
evening.